where we love to talk about growth and innovation, and especially not just growth at the top of the funnel, but throughout the customer lifecycle, be it through innovative marketing, to better customer experiences, sales process, and anything and everything in between the top end and the bottom of the funnel. And I'm very fortunate to have Naveen Krishnan with me today. Naveen is an AI expert. He's currently working with Microsoft. Before that, he was with Infosys, and he's been like a technocrat that has helped many companies unlock both growth through innovation and also scale through implementation of technology. And over the last few years, he has actually been really focused on AI and how AI can actually help improve efficiency and growth for companies. So welcome, Naveen. Excited to talk about innovation with you.
Hello, Taran. Glad to meet you and your audience. We'll go from here.
Perfect. So typically what we like to do, Naveen, is we really like to talk about examples of things that you have done that have really unlocked either growth or innovation or efficiency. So over to you. If you think about something recent that you have done, and obviously you're in the hot seat because AI is something that everybody is exploring at the moment. Doesn't matter if you're a big business or a small business. So if you
Yeah.
can share an example of some recent work with AI, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Try to go in depth as much as possible. So, yeah, as you all know, AI is not new now, and we all started with machine learning and then deep learning, generative AI model. And if you ask it some question, and based on the knowledge, whatever it has got, it gave you some response. And then what we did is we said, next, we went into RAG where we ground our data and it can work with our data and help answer your questions. For example, your customer support questions were going on. And recently we got introduced by agents. So agent is taking AI into a different level now, and I can literally see how it is transforming businesses of small,
Yeah,
large.
agentic is becoming uh,
Yeah.
the component where people are really seeing some value,
At
basically.
least for next 5 to 8 months, I will be busy with agents. Keep you busy, so it's what my understanding is. So with agents, there is nothing. So far, you have been asking something, and it gave you something, and this is something what it can do. Agents are nothing but a task. It can perform some task for you. For example, daily morning, I do set of these activities. I go check my ETL job. I go do this. I check my email. I respond to this, or I submit some claims, and those types of tasks can now be automated, or any approvals, like it has to go through different stages. For example, I onboard an employee and then it has to go so many stages, and then each stage there is a separate gate, and then there is some action needs to be performed, and those can be automated completely with the help of agent. So that's the power of agent. And one example which I'm not directly involved, but it came from one of my colleague who is in Europe, and what he did is they thought cloud engineering and cloud operations with help of agents. So it keeps watching all your application logs, analytics, telemetry data, whatever it is, right? And it tries to keep your app up and running. And as first it sees any warning, what it does is it does a Bing search. One agent go do a Bing search, and then find appropriate solution for that problem. What you are going to see now. So it is more proactive. So it go
It's
get the.
preempting. It's
Yeah.
preempting based on signals.
Correct. Even at the warning stage, it go check what's the problem, and then it come back and try to add more space or add additional instances, add more CPU, and it tries to keep your app calm. And then so wherever if needed, it will pull you. It can keep human in loop so that you get in and then you say, okay, yeah, go and take this action. So it lists all the set of actions, and based on your recommendation, it goes to perform that action, and then it come back, make sure you can validate. One other agent can validate whether your app is up or run down. So these are the separate group of agents which can converse themselves and then come to a solution.
DevOps, Cloud Ops, it's literally the monitoring of it, as well as proactively working on resolutions and making sure
Yep.
the uptimes are there. And what's the impact of it? Is it obviously it's more efficient in terms of how many humans you need to run
Yep.
it, but
Yep.
is there also an impact on things like downtime and all the other
Yeah,
challenges?
definitely. It will end up improving your operations, right? So your operations can now focus on enhancements or maintenance types of work. So you don't need to always babysit your application, right? So you can hand it over to the agents, and then you can start working on enhancements or
Focus on the strategic.
which is going to take your product to a next level instead of doing all this unnecessary activities, which is not going to give you any benefit. So those types of workloads can be handed over to agents, and then you can really do a focus. That is one thing. And the second thing is availability of your application itself. It's a great challenge these days, right? With all these integrations and other stuff. So one API going in India, it's calling a API in US, and then there is some delay, or I don't know how to manage what happened to that API, certificate changed, or those types of things are now taken out of your head, and then it's been handed over by agent take care of it very well than us, and you can keep your systems up and running always. Maybe your releases, it can start validating all your releases. Each release it can go do all this testings, additional testing on top of what you have written. It can also do those things. It's slowly coming in, but not at the full-fledged right now, but maybe in a year or two you will find that getting into. This is one interesting solution what I've seen, and there are so many, and we don't have.
I'm sure there's so many other examples as well. But since this is like a very tricky one as well, because DevOps is not an easy thing.
Yep.
We all know that. Automating like a simple customer service process, or having an agent respond to phone or emails, like that's simple things. Cloud and DevOps is also very sacred, that typically there's like a huge concern around security and everything else. So how does that get addressed? And then also what about your agents going rogue on you one day? Like, how is that being addressed?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good question. The very first thing is security. How do I know what can do, or what is the limit for that agent to do? For that can be controlled by a type of access called on behalf of whatever level of access you or a particular person who can do those types of actions or activities can perform. Always, because here it is set of tasks what we are writing for agents, and we can literally control where and which step it needs to keep human in loop, so that without our knowledge or without our attention, it's not going to perform anything huge, right? There we have a tight control of what we have to do, and this answers your second question as well.
Does it? Because if they start having a mind of their own, the agents, and let's say they want to hack into your system, how do you prevent that basically? It's like having an employee that has any malintentions. And in this case, this is obviously a digital employee. So there's not even anything you can do about it. You can't hold them accountable to the level that you can. And there's no penalty either. Like, you can't file a case against them. You can't investigate them. There's no reason for them to be kept in check. So,
Yeah, if you are running your agent, because agent is something what you create with the set of run book, like you have given it set of.
They're your proxy basically.
They are your proxy, user proxy. So basically, user proxy is one of the agent there. So multiple agents, and as long as you keep your agent infrastructure secure, which means it's not hijacked by another human or another AI from outside, right? As long as you keep your agent secure, I don't think there is any chance of this agent taking control over us and then performing so and so tasks, because whatever tools or whatever knowledge we give it is within certain boundary, right? We know what we can tell it go do a Bing search, but when it comes back, we can have other agent which can validate the search results, and based on that validations, we can have the third agent go and perform the task with the human in loop. So there are several guardrails that's put in place to make this happen, and if we are not making anything wrong or we are not screwing the system, and I don't think agents can do something wrong. So you can have an employee who is fired on that day, right? I think I heard a news. He took off a complete database down.
Yeah.
He truncated the data. So these types of things can happen with human and not with agents.
Okay. And then you mentioned something very interesting, that agents are going to be top of mind for the next 6 months. What do you think is coming next? Because the innovation is happening so fast in the AI world. So what do you think, since you are very close to it, what do you think is the next big frontier?
Yeah, even though I am close to the place, but I have the same information like what you have, because seeing the pattern, what I have seen for last 1.5 years, every 6 months shift. So we started with chatbot, and then we came into RAG that stayed for 6 months, and then after 6 months we are now into agents digging deep. Maybe it can withstand for say 8 or 12 months, but after that we are going to face something new.
But then how do you choose what do you want to, like, again, the innovation is happening so fast. So let's say I picked agents today and I said I'm going to deploy agents, but then something more innovative comes in, let's say, like a year. And then I
Yeah.
have to rip and replace.
It will be, the adoption has to be very quick going forward, because from the day when the agile started, we have even more fine-tuned from the waterfall method with this new world of agile. So every day I see 3 or 4 releases in a day. So we have shifted our focus into that. We have moved from the olden way of doing
Yeah.
it into
Now more
again
leaner, more faster,
you'll have to be,
incremental
yeah,
versus big bang. So
yep,
you think that's the same mindset one has to have?
take this.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I think that some of the information shared is really important, and I think a lot of folks that are thinking about embracing AI in their business, this conversation would be really helpful for them.
Sure.
I'm sure our listeners are going to walk away with some good silver bullets that they can apply. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate you joining this.
Thanks for your audience as well. You can follow me on LinkedIn, and I write blogs only on AI. If you can on Medium, and you can always follow me to get latest updates on AI.
And this episode will have all your information as well.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.